Welcome to Fueling Growth Marketing for Auto Repair Shops. I'm Zane Taylor and I'm joined by Joe Waters. Today we're diving into how your shop can prepare for autonomous vehicles and advanced driver assistance systems while winning new customers. Here's the reality. Autonomy ranges from SAE levels 0 to 5, but the money for independent shops over the next few years sits squarely in ADAS service at levels 1 to 2+, plus EV safety and maintenance. You'll see limited level 4 pilots in geo-fenced zones, mostly fleet-controlled, which means your near-term opportunity is calibrations, programming, and the suspension, steering, alignment, glass, and tire work that keeps those systems honest. Our team maps the tools, training, workflow, documentation, partnerships, and marketing plays you can implement so you lead with safety, accuracy, and ROI.
You nailed the landscape. What matters right now is translating ADAS prevalence into everyday tickets that protect customers and protect the shop. Most vehicles on your lifts already have camera-based lane keeping, radar cruise, blind spot, and automatic braking. Those systems drift when ride height changes, when a windshield is replaced, after front-end hits, and even after an alignment. That's our opening. Near-term revenue lives in pre- and post-repair scans, fault tracing, static and dynamic calibrations, and rock-solid alignments tied to ADAS spec. EV growth layers on inspections, thermal management checks, insulated tool battery disconnects, and high-voltage safety. Meanwhile, Level 4 pilots will create a secondary need, keeping local infrastructure partners, glass providers, and collision shops calibrated and compliant. If we build calibration credibility now, we become the go-to hub those partners already need.
Let's turn that into a service menu that shops can activate now. Start with a diagnostic-first approach. Pre-scan every vehicle that enters for steering, suspension, alignment, glass, or bodywork. Then deliver line-item recommendations, camera, radar, or LiDAR calibration, static targeting or dynamic road calibration, and a precise four-wheel alignment. Tie it together with steering angle reset, ADAS relearns, and software updates using OEM subscriptions or approved J2534 workflows. Don't overlook tire and glass. New tire sizes, ride height changes, wheel offsets, or windshield brand variations can all require recalibration. Package intelligently. After suspension replacements or windshield installs, bundle alignment plus calibration, and include a printed calibration certificate. The marketing upside is huge when you show before and after scan results and a clear, customer-understandable safety narrative. It builds trust and defends pricing.
On investment, think in layers. First, a level, obstruction-free calibration bay with matte walls, consistent 300 to 500 lux lighting, and at least 30 feet of depth. Second, a high-precision alignment rack with recent calibration and turn plates in spec. Third, ADAS target boards and frames that cover your dominant OEMs. Start with modular kits and add brand-specific targets as demand proves out. Fourth, quality scan tools paired with OEM service info and, when appropriate, J2534 pass-through. For EVs, add lift adapters, insulated gloves and hand tools, a Cat 3 FA multimeter, a rescue hook, and lockout-tagout gear. Don't forget robust shop Wi-Fi, a dedicated laptop for programming, and a battery maintainer or clean power supply. Budget-wise, start at around $25K to $40Ks and scale with volume and partnerships. Buy used where sensible, but don't compromise accuracy or alignment.
Training is the multiplier. A practical path looks like this. Ensure strong electrical and engine performance foundations with ASE A6 and A8. Then pursue L1 for advanced drivability. Add ASE L4 for ADAS. It forces the theory and testing discipline calibrations require. Layer OEM modules. Toyota, Honda, Acura, Ford, GM, focused on camera and radar service. Plus XEV safety courses that address battery isolation and enable. iCar collision. ADS content helps interpret post-crash procedures and documentation expectations. Secure data access with NISTF credentials so you can legally handle immobilizer-related operations. Finally, write clear SOPs, intake questions, calibration triggers, static versus dynamic steps, environmental checks, test drive criteria, and stop work rules. Train advisors too, so they can explain value, manage expectations, and price confidently without overpromising. Reinforce with quarterly refreshers and manufacturer update bulletins for advisors.
Workflow and safety make or break outcomes. Start the write-up by capturing whether the vehicle has lane keeping, adaptive cruise, blind spot, parking assist, 360-degree cameras, or night vision. Note recent glass, suspension, tire, or bodywork. If any calibration trigger exists, windshield, camera, or radar removal, front-end hit, alignment, ride height change, flag the job. Decide static versus dynamic based on OEM procedure, ambient conditions, and local speed limits. For static work, verify bay level, lighting, distances, and target heights per spec. Photograph setups. For dynamic, map a controlled route that meets speed, lane marking, and traffic criteria. Avoid times with glare or heavy congestion. Establish stop work rules anytime a sensor faults post-calibration. For EVs, follow HV disable, enable steps, lockout, tagout, and post-service isolation verification. Use cones and signage to control the bay and prevent interruptions.
Documentation protects your customer, your insurer, and your reputation. Create a packet for each job, pre-scan with DTCs, odometer, VIN, and options, photos of damage and ADAS hardware, alignment printouts before and after, calibration setup photos with measured distances, environmental readings if required, and a post-scan and road test report. Include the windshield brand and part number when glass is involved, plus target types used. Generate a calibration certificate that lists procedure type, tool versions, and pass-fail criteria. Have customers sign consent for data access and programming, and note any ADAS behavior advisories after OEM software updates. Review your garage keepers and E&O insurance to ensure calibration and programming are covered, and update labor operations so you're paid for the rigor you deliver. Share summaries in plain English on invoices to reinforce value.
Volume grows fastest through partnerships. Start by calling 3 glass companies and 3 collision shops within 5 miles. Offer same-day or next-day static and dynamic calibrations with documented certificates, and propose pickup and delivery or on-site mobile service once volume justifies. Approach tire and alignment shops that lack targets. Offer a bundled alignment plus calibration program with revenue sharing. Visit dealerships to absorb overflow and out-of-warranty work they'd rather sublet. Build relationships with delivery, rideshare, municipal, and utility EV fleets. Present safety-driven SLAs, uptime guarantees, and monthly reporting. Add a recruiting pipeline via local technical schools, guest lecture on ADAS, invite students to observe calibrations, and sponsor a tool scholarship. These alliances create steady RO flow, reduce seasonality, and amplify your marketing through trusted referrals. Track partner satisfaction and fix friction points before they escalate quickly.
Positioning online is where credibility converts. Build dedicated website pages for ADAS calibration and EV readiness. List the specific targets, frames, alignment systems, scan tools, and certifications you have, and explain which events trigger recalibration. Add a short video showing target setup and a dynamic calibration road test, plus downloadable checklists for insurers and collision partners. In your Google business profile, add categories like auto radiator repair. No, use ADAS calibration, auto electrical service, and wheel alignment service. Then list services and photos of the calibration bay. Run tightly targeted Google ads for queries like ADAS calibration near me, windshield camera calibration, and lane keep recalibration, pointing to a fast, mobile-optimized landing page. Use call tracking numbers and conversion goals to measure calls, forms, and booked jobs. Refine based on search terms.
Content fuels both education and conversion. Publish explainers such as, after a windshield replacement, why calibration matters, 10 signs your ADAS needs recalibration, and how a precise alignment protects lane keeping and braking. Record quick reels showing target placement, distance measurements, and a clip from a dynamic calibration route with the scan tool confirming completion. Create a post-collision checklist for estimators, highlighting triggers and documentation insurers expect. Turn 2 real repairs into case studies that quantify outcomes. DTCs cleared, alignment angles corrected, and customer feedback on lane centering performance. Send a monthly partner email with tooling additions, training wins, and open capacity slots. Repurpose blog content into GBP posts and short LinkedIn updates to reach fleet managers and glass or body decision makers. Track clicks, calls, and booked repairs to prove ROI every month.
Pricing should reflect process and risk. Lead with a diagnostic first estimate, pre-scan fee, inspection, and OEM procedure lookup. Quote per system calibration fees, front camera, radar, surround view, plus static or dynamic road time. Bundle alignment plus calibration after suspension or steering work, and add surcharges for mobile service when you control setup quality. Always line item pre- and post-scans, steering angle resets, and documentation. For fleets, publish SLAs, response times, volume tiers, and a clear rate card. Include minimums for on-site calls. Train advisors to explain why procedures vary by OEM and weather, and set timelines with disclaimers for road conditions. When price shoppers call, pivot to safety outcomes, certification, documentation, and warranty. Payment options can include net terms for fleets and quick pay discounts. Collect deposits on glass-related calibrations to secure scheduling and technician time.
Let's cover data, software, and cybersecurity. Assign ownership for keeping scan tools and ADAS frames updated. Subscribe to OEM service info and bulletins so procedures stay current. Use secure, segmented Wi-Fi with WPA3 if available, and manage shop devices with unique logins and automatic updates. Keep a dedicated programming laptop, surge protection, and a clean power supply or battery maintainer to avoid bricking modules. Backup calibration reports and programming logs off-site. For vehicles that receive OTA updates, educate customers that alerts may follow service while systems relearn. Establish a privacy policy covering consent for data access, key programming, and storage. Rotate passwords, disable ex-employee accounts immediately, and consider cyber insurance. Document incident response steps in case a device or account is compromised. Test backups quarterly to ensure recovery works properly.
Measure what matters so you can scale. Track ADAS and calibration jobs per month, gross profit per build hour, effective labor rate, and average hours per RO. Watch comeback rate and recalibration rate. Investigate any failures immediately. Tag referral sources, glass, collision, fleet, dealership, web, and review the mix monthly. For marketing, monitor page views, time on ADAS pages, calls attributed via tracking numbers, form submissions, and booked calibrations. Add a KPI for fleet accounts added and average invoice per fleet visit. Ask for reviews that mention safety, ADAS, and documentation. Build a simple dashboard in a spreadsheet or BI tool. Review weekly in a 20-minute stand-up and monthly for deeper adjustments. Tie wins to technician bonuses and advisor spiffs. Share results on a wallboard to keep the team engaged and accountable daily.
A phased roadmap reduces risk. Phase 1, months 0 to 6. Assess local demand by auditing recent ROs for ADAS triggers, call partners, and quantify vehicle park. Train one technician, formalize SOPs, and launch website and GBP pages. Start with a portable target kit, a clean bay, and external alignments if necessary. Phase 2, months 6 to 12. Invest in a dedicated calibration bay, a precision alignment rack, and additional targets covering your top 5 OEMs. Expand training to advisors, secure NASTF credentials, and ink at least 5 referral agreements. Phase 3, months 12 to 18. Add a mobile calibration unit with power, targets, and a maintainer. Formalize a fleet program with SLAs, reporting, and invoicing, and hire or cross-train a second specialist. Review pricing and margins at each milestone carefully.
Keep an eye on regulation and standards. Right to repair and data access laws continue evolving. Join your state association and ASA to stay current. Some states mandate ADS recalibration after windshield or collision repairs. Know the exact language and documentation required to get reimbursed. Insurers increasingly request calibration certificates, alignment printouts, and pre-post scans, so align your paperwork accordingly. For high-voltage systems, follow OSHA and manufacturer safety guidance. Dispose of HV components per environmental rules. Confirm local rules for test drives, especially if dynamic calibrations require speeds above posted limits. Often you'll choose routes or times that meet requirements safely. Finally, monitor OEM position statements, SAE updates, and ICAR guidance. Adapting early reduces denied claims and protects your liability posture. Document policies and train staff on updates immediately to ensure compliance.
If you want to move this week, here's a practical sprint. First, audit the last 60 days of ROs for glass, alignment, suspension, and front-end hits. Note vehicles with camera or radar. Second, call 3 glass shops and 3 collision centers to offer calibration support. Schedule a 15-minute meet and greet. Third, add ADAS and EV service pages to your website and update Google Business Profile services today. Fourth, enroll one tech in ASE L4 Prep or a relevant OEM ADAS module, and block 2 training hours this week. Fifth, print an intake checklist that flags ADAS features and calibration triggers. Sixth, create a controlled dynamic route map and a static bay checklist. Close Friday with a huddle to assign owners, dates, and the first partner pilot. Report results Monday and adjust the plan.
Great checklist to act on immediately. If you want help prioritizing and sequencing for your market, reach out and we'll map it together. Call us at 47083888123 or email support@benoitassociates.com. That's support at mbenoitassociates.com to talk next steps and see how we can help you grow. No pressure, just a smart conversation. That's a wrap on preparing your shop for the future of mobility. We covered where autonomy stands today, the ADAS and EV services you can monetize now, the equipment, training, and SOPs that protect accuracy and safety, and the documentation that defends your reputation and reimbursement. We also outlined partnerships, marketing, pricing, data hygiene, the KPIs that guide decisions, and a phase 12 to 18-month plan that scales with demand. Most importantly, you've got quick actions for this week to create momentum. Stay disciplined, measure results, and tell your safety story everywhere customers and partners look. Thanks for listening to Fueling Growth. We'll see you next time. Until then, keep calibrating, keep documenting, keep leading.